Welcome back to Simbright Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to sew this BUBU kaftan with puff sleeve and lace trimmings. So in this class, I'll be teaching you how to make your own homemade lace trimmings, because the foreign lace trimmings are usually very expensive. Some of them are at 25,000 Nigerian naira, 20,000 Nigerian naira and thereabout. But at your home, you can make your own lace trimmings and use it to sew this beautiful BUBU kaftan. So here I got myself 3.5 yards of liquid mikado and half yard of lace I can trim out from. When you are getting your lace, make sure it's a lace you can trim out, get some trimmings from it. Okay, so you can see what I have right there is really very bold to trim out from. So now I'm going to open up the 3.5 yards of liquid mikado fabric. I'm going to put one end to the other, as you can see. So after putting it together, I'm going to fold it another time. Okay, that is folding it the 4th time. So I just want to fold it into 4, as you can see. So here I folded it into 4, and this is what I got at the end of the day. So I have to turn it to the back because I need to choke on this dress. So since I'm choking on it, I turned it to the back side, so I'll be able to choke on it. So here you can see I have the folded edge, and this folded edge is the center front and the center back. So for this particular BUBU kaftan, I'm not going to put any shoulder slant at all. I'm going to take all my measurements from the folded edge. I love to, especially for this puff sleeve, I love to go from the folded edge as my shoulder, so there's no shoulder slant. But if you want to put a shoulder slant, no issues. So here my neck width is 3.5 and neck depth is 1 inch for the back. 3.5 inches by 1 inch for the back, 3.5 inches by 4.5 inches for the neck front neckline. So here you can see me choking the back and the front neckline. So I'm going to use everything I have on this particular fabric for my sleeve line. So on the sleeve line, the part I'm choking, I'm going to place my tape on the shoulder and take the measurement of 18 inches downwards. So you are going to mark 18 inches downwards and go in by 6 inches inwards from that 18 inches. So this is 6 inches inwards and 18 inches from the shoulder. So after that is done, the next thing we are going to do is to place our tape on the shoulder again. You want to take the measurement of your hip length. So from your shoulder to your hip, just mark whatever you have. Me, I have 29 inches. So on that 29 inches line, I'm going to place my tape at the center front, center back, and I'm going to take my hip circumference divided by 4, and I'll add 5 inches to it. For me, I got 12 inches plus 5, that is 17 inches. So everything I have here is 17 inches, and I'm going to take the 17 inches to the hem. But before I do that, I'm going to take the measurement of my desired length. So the desired length I'm making use of here is 60 inches. I'm making use of 60 inches from shoulder to floor length, but I'm adding 2 more inches to it, both for seam allowance and just to make it to flow a little. So I added 2 inches. So whatever your desired length is, add 2 inches to it. So now I'll come back to the hip and take everything I have on the hip, including the seam allowance and the ease allowance. I have 17 inches. So I'll take that 17 inches to the hem, and I'm going to mark the 17 inches. So after that is done, the next thing I'm going to do is to come up with my ruler. I'm going to, on the hem part or on the floor line, I'm going to rule a straight line to meet the hip line. But before I get to the hip line, I'm going to come down by 4 inches from that is allowance of the hip and rule my line. So I'll not get to the hip, I'll just come down by 4 inches. That is where my line will stop. Then I'm going to make a little curl. So you can see how I curve the curl into the sleeve. So that is how you are going to curve that part. So now you can see the neckline is ready. The next thing we are going to do is to cut what we have right here. So this is the shape of what we have, and we are going to cut right away. So here I'm going to cut. So after cutting, you can see what we have. So the next thing we are going to do now is to cut the back neckline. So I'll just come up there and cut only the back neckline because we have everything together, front and back. So you cut the back neckline and open up the dress. I'll open up the neckline so I'll be able to cut the front neckline. So here you can see the front neckline. So just go ahead and secure with your pin so it does not shift. Then you follow the chalk line and cut the neckline off. So after that, we are going to prepare a facing for it. So I just came in with a folded fabric. Just ensure you pin them to stabilize the fabric. Then we are going to trace out the neckline. So after tracing out that neckline, we are going to cut our facing. So I'll take off my pins right now, and I'm going to place my tape on the neckline and measure 3 inches all around. So I'm going to highlight the 3 inches, and I'm going to cut out the facing accordingly. So make sure you make mark for the back and for the front facing so you don't mix them up. So I'm going to place my fabric right side to the facing, and I'm going to secure with my pins accordingly. So after that, I'll go over to stitch, and I'm done stitching. So the next thing I'm going to do is to make notches because that neckline is rounded. So just go ahead and make notches all around, as you can see. So after making the notches, the next is to top stitch. I'll flip all my seams to the facing and top stitch all around so the neckline will relax very well. So I'm done with that. I use a little hemming gum to iron it nicely. So this is what we have right now. So we are going to jump into the tracing of our trimmings, which is the main purpose of this tutorial. So I folded my paper into two, and I took the measurement of my trimming at 20 inches length. So you can make it shorter or longer. So the width is 8 inches. I use my shoulder, divide by 2. So I'll come down by 10 inches, and on the 10 inches line, I'll come in by 6 inches. Then this is 8 inches. I came in by 6 inches, and the length I have right there is 10 inches. So you can make any pattern of your choice. You must not follow exactly what I'm doing right here. You need to be creative. So I came in by 4 inches on the 20 inches line, and I'm going to come in with my pattern ruler. I'll connect the 8 inches to the 6 inches, and then connect from the 6 inches to the 4 inches. But then I just thought of bringing the ruler to form a little design from that 6 inches. So you can see how I placed my ruler. So just go ahead and be creative with it. So now I'm going to connect from that point to the 4 inches. So I'm going to cut out what I have right here, and that is what I'm going to use to cut my trimming, my lacing, sorry. So the lace I'm going to trim, I'll use this pattern. But I just thought of tapering that part by going in by 2.5 and making just a straight line. So I'll just cut it off. I just want it to look like this. So you can do whatever you want to do. So now I'll place my lace on it and secure with my pin. And I'm going to take my time to cut through those tiny lace links. If you look at a lace you want to trim with your soldering iron or with your scissors, there are some little tiny laces you can cut off so you can have the big laces. I believe you understand what I'm trying to explain. So I just took my time. Even if they come out of the pattern, no problem. So just go ahead, cut those small small lanes. So I'm done cutting, and I'm going to place it on the shoulder line right now. So you can see how I placed it on the shoulder line, and I secured with my pin. So after securing with my pin right now, you can see some excesses of the lace came out of the neckline. So what I'm going to do now, after pinning, I'm going to use my scissors to make notches on that neckline. Please don't cut out the main fabric, only the laces. I'm making these notches so it will be able to fold in. So I just go ahead and fold this part inwards. Can you see? Then I'll secure with my pin. So we are going to tack the whole of this lace. We are going to tack using our invisible thread. So the invisible thread I'm going to use right now, after securing this with my pin nicely, I'm going to show you the invisible thread. Invisible threads are usually very beautiful for tacking laces like that, because it's not going to be visible at all. So I used a black invisible thread. Okay, so I'm done securing this part. I just make sure my pin stabilizes it. So this is my invisible thread. So you can see how it looks like. This is 200 mm, and I have my needle of number 11. So I'm using the two of them right now to tack this beautiful lace. So I'm going to start all the way from the neckline, and I'm going to take my time to tack all around the edges, the neckline. I'll just take them one after the other. So I actually took my time to film this part, so you see how I'm tacking it. So if you are using a homemade trimming, this is how to go about it. But if you are using a foreign trimming, the foreign trimming usually has a gum at the back. So all you need to do is to place your steam iron and gum it to the dress. But I know because it's expensive, most of us might not be able to afford it, and that is the most reason I did this tutorial. You can actually wear a homemade trimming. You can actually use a homemade trimming for your bubu kaftan. So I kept sewing very closely. I used my invisible thread. I secured the neckline, then I took it to the shoulder line, and at the latter part of it, I went through all the edges. So I took it all the edges and made sure I secure the edges. So another thing you can do is to also add beads. You can add tacking stones, rhinestones on them, so it will just glitter and look beautiful. If you want to, enhance the beauty of this bubu kaftan, so you can just go ahead and add your beads all around. So this is what it looks as at the back. You can see the laces and the invisible thread. So everything is looking nice and beautiful. So you can go ahead and give it a little press to make it look nice and beautiful. So we are going to go over to the elastic right now. I'm going to fold in my fabric. So you can just go ahead and measure 2 inches for your fold, or you can use 1.5 inches. So for me, I marked 1.5 inches all around, and I followed that inches to fold my elastic. So this is my elastic. I am going to measure 13 inches for my elastic. So the 13 inches, I'm going to cut 2 pieces of it, one for right and one for the left sleeve. So I use my safety pin too. So I'm going to pin on my elastic, and I'm going to pass it through my elastic casing. So here I'm done with the elastic, so you can see what I have. So the next thing I'm going to do is to stitch the side of this dress. I'm stitching the side of this dress at 1 inch. So I just move over to my machine right now. I'm going to sew all around this dress at 1 inch. So after sewing, this is what I have. I'm going to make notches at the hip line I'll also make notches at the sleeve line. All those curvy parts, make sure you make notches so they relax nice and flat for you. So we are gradually coming to the end of this tutorial. I believe you learned a lot from this class. So if you are new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, share to family and friends, turn on your notification bell. Please like the video so it goes viral, so that other people can also watch and benefit. Thank you, and see you in the next class.